Oh, we'll call that a pre-show. That's what we do. Holy shit. No Mercury retrograde. Let me get you up here because you're good looking. Booyah with the nips. All right, kids. Why is that? That's better in my earballs now. All right, now we're cooking with gas. Well, God knows for how long over in, what do you call it? California, we can't have a gas friggin' stove anymore or anything. This is the Rants of Izzo pre-show here. It is Wednesday. We are live. We're back. Mercury retrograde. I don't know what it was doing, but it seems to be, knock on wood, good now. I know we have a few more days of it, but it is what it is. Couple different things if you're going to support the show. Number one, go to Spreely.com. You know, Scotty and I are going to be talking about the TikTok ban going on today. Maybe you, some young kids, should start gravitating over towards Spreely.com. Just thinking. When you go to Spreely.com, there's places for you to wind up hearing other shows, watching other shows, like the Burn Pit podcast, which is on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's good for you. It'll make your hair and teeth and nails stronger. And watching an episode of the Burn Pit podcast is actually more effective than taking prenatal pills if you are a pregnant mother of whatever. Buy my book, Before the Badge, everything you need to know before you become a cop. Even if you're not a police officer and you want to know what the job is of cops and what to expect of your law enforcement, this is the standard. This should be in every academy in the United States. I even think that Sheriff Joe Arpaio, I'm sorry, he forwarded it. Yeah. Sheriff Joe, page 1, you open it up right there. He wrote a little forward in it. Other than that, guys, share the show. We do work our little nutsacks off for you. We love you. We appreciate you long time. We want you to have a good time. Secondly, or lastly, if your fucking wife or girlfriend is in one of those pyramid scheme MLMs, would you send her my way? Because I actually will teach her how to do it properly. I will teach her how to pitch and sell and recruit and close and do it without making some stupid TikTok video that she might not be able to make it for too much longer. And then go, I don't understand. All my friends and family won't talk to me anymore because you're not doing it the right way. 708-982-0974. That's it. Have them get a hold of me. Her get a hold of you. Get a hold of me. I don't care. We'll have a conversation. The industry requires class, and I'm putting the ass in it. All right. I think we should do a show. I had coffee. I had a nap today, too. I needed one. I don't know why. I woke up, and I'm like, fuck, I need a nap. Let's take one, Daddy. All right, let's have a show.
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominick Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
All right, it is the Rants of Izzo Show here on Spreely Media, Spreely.com. All things speak freely. That's what you do. It's a compound word like do not, don't, is not, isn't, ain't, which wasn't a word when I was a kid. Back in grammar school in the 1980s, ain't was not in the dictionary. You could not say that and then get in trouble with the Catholic school nuns that I went to. The bug kind of bit you, didn't you, when you put the headphones on? It kind of changes the game, doesn't it?
It's so much better, man. You've been telling me for months now since we've been doing the Rants of Izzo every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern. It's our second favorite day of the week. Our first favorite day of the week, obviously, is Mondays at 4 o'clock. Burn Pit podcast on Spreely TV. But Dominick here has told me for months, man, just wear the headphones when we do the podcast. Come on, man. It'll make things so much easier, better. We can talk over each other. Yeah. You get, and it's like, I got the buds in, so that it's you don't cut off my sexy ears and all that shit. All right, it's Wednesday. We're live. Maddie Wack's not sitting with us, so that's okay. Sometimes I cannot handle my blood pressure being raised as high when Matt's on here, and I realize how fucking ignorant I am with a lot of things, especially constitutional aspects. If you're wondering who Maddie Wack is,
co-host of the Burn Pit podcast. Again, it's on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern on Spreely. If you do not listen to it and you think that you know the Constitution or really how America should function, yeah, go ahead. Listen to Matt and Scott talk, and you're going to be educated in a very, very, very good way. You and I, before the show, briefly, we spoke about the TikTok ban. I was going to look at it. I don't know anything about it, but this is all I do know is I know it's probably not as insane as what people are going to be made. Oh, TikTok's going away. I don't think that's going to happen. But do you know anything about it? Because that is like the biggest, the biggest news on both sides, because liberals are cringing and conservatives are going, ha ha. And I don't think either side is going to get their shit unbundled off this. I don't know.
Now you're right there, Dominic. I agree with you. But Biden signed a bill today, an aid package to Ukraine and Israel, Gaza, Taiwan. They also snuck in this TikTok ban. And what it does here is this company, ByteDance, it's TikTok's parent company. They have 1 year to sell off its asset to avoid the app ban. So anything to do the ByteDance with China, sorry about that. They have to have a year, they sell it off, and then it avoids the ban. So the teenagers that are worried about losing it, they got at least another year to enjoy themselves on that app. And we talked a little bit. You're on there. You post some stuff.
Yeah, I had when I first started seeing people use it a while back, I didn't understand it, and I was trying to pay attention to it. And what it was there was a woman who all she was doing was like these lip syncing shit stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't understand what this is. You're fucking lip syncing, great. So again, just like Vine, I didn't understand what do you call it? What the purpose of the app was. Now it's just like anything else. I mean, you can put up a video that's 10 minutes on fucking TikTok, and it's literally just, whatever. I had what they do ban you. I mean, I went live just to see how I could do it a couple weeks ago, because I was really going heavy into the law enforcement stuff again. So I'm like, all right, I'll see what this does. I'll promote the show on here, do live. And TikTok cut my live feed again because I had a cigar in my hand. And they're like, you're smoking dangerous, you're promoting dangerous habits. I'm like, whatever. I have lost 2 TikTok accounts before that were substantial. I think like 60, 70,000 followers. There are people in the millions and millions, and it seems like TikTok was an easier platform for people to grow. But I guess maybe everything is in the beginning. I don't know. I'm at like 58,000 people follow me, and my shit always gets a boost when I go off on really bad law enforcement. But yeah, if you say the wrong shit, they ban your stuff. And if you say whatever, if you say like, oh, Scott Sieverts, you're bigger than me, fucking giant head. It's like, oh, that's just bullying. Delete this video. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, we've had a couple of videos. I'm sure you won't be surprised that have been taken down. Matt going off and of course promoting the Second Amendment and the implementation of the Second Amendment to take back and restore the republic to what it should be. But also, there's a lot of shopping now done on TikTok. You see a lot of people are putting products out there. It's rivaling. Dare I say, Amazon? So there's
is it really? I was always worried that like the products were like pure generic, but I'm like, what is this stuff? Or like Wish. Like you order. So I've never ordered some from Wish because you just hear these horror stories of it. But I'm like, man, $2 for, I don't know, a set of rims for your car. That's insane. And you get them back, they're made of paper. So I don't know what the quality of TikTok stuff is, but yeah, I've seen a lot of ads popping up on my stuff.
Ads, tons of product. People are running businesses out of TikTok, and you and I were a little older, but the people are running businesses. So the younger generation coming up, the teenagers, the 20s, and even the 30s, they're using TikTok to buy and sell goods on there. So it's like an eBay meets Amazon. So people are worried. People are concerned because some people are losing their only stream of income with the TikTok ban. But again, you got a year until this ByteDance sells its shares off. I think everyone's going to be safe, but there may be another hidden agenda behind the TikTok ban as well, and it could be hey, there's some competition here with the sales and the market, but also they're letting a lot of things slide when it comes to pro-Palestinian ideology. And if you see a lot of the percentages to where the younger crowd stands, you see it even in universities. It's like 70% of TikTok users are on the pro-Palestinian side of things. So there may be, some other motivation there to get this app, or at least scare them a little bit, or having somebody come in there that's a new investor that might run it a little differently. I don't know. That's the conspiracy side of my brain, though.
Yeah, no, it's not a conspiracy. People don't get it, and I didn't see it firsthand until I first started voting. And I'm not embarrassed, and I'm not proud to admit this, but my first voting was the 2016 election, and I went to go vote, and I looked at there was a what do you call it? Shit, help me out. Fucking, it was clearly Illinois, and I'm voting for the presidential election.
Going to the polling station.
Going to the polling station, and wore a red tie to make sure they knew which side I was on. And the first thing, because it included like all the local and state stuff as well too in this federal election. So the first thing was I don't know if it was a bill. Again, I don't know how local government works outside of, whether or not I could put handcuffs on somebody. But when I saw this and I went, oh my God, now I understand how they fuck everything over. It caused me to not knee-jerk reaction when I see titles like Breitbart or somebody else releasing 95% of Republicans refuse to vote for border security increase. Well, and then you get everybody going, oh my God, holy shit, these rhinos. And what people don't know is that's the bill, ... or the ellipsis, but also, so when I saw this thing in my state, it said it was a two-part, it was just one paragraph. One paragraph with only one, with two punctuations, a comma and a period at the end of the sentence, right? And it was, do you agree with, do you support or not support, or do you agree or disagree? And it was a vote yes or no on Illinois' continuance of a 3-day waiting period for firearm purchases or whatever. And I voted, yeah, I have zero problem with that. No whatsoever. So I was about to vote yes, right? Because like everybody else, I don't read in fucking instructions on shit. I stop and then go to vote. But for some strange reason, I kept reading on. Comma, and the restriction to only 10 round magazine capacities. I went, oh, you fuckers. Now what do you vote for? Because in one sentence, they proposed two things that conflict with my views. I don't have a problem with. Or maybe from a domestic, they put the 3-day waiting period in for the cooling off for guys who want to kill their wives, right? Or whatever that is. So I agree with somebody having to wait for 3 days before they purchase a firearm after getting it after they purchase. But I don't agree with limiting it to 10 rounds. So I'm like, no, I voted no. Because I'm like, this is shit. So, but that's how people, that's exactly how people get you in arguments too. Oh, so you're anti-Palestine, which means you're pro-Israel, right? It's like, fuck you, A. They've made that clear. I don't have an opinion. And then the bills. Yeah, I'm not pro-anti-TikTok. I don't give a shit about it. Yeah, I'm pro-anti-TikTok. But wait a second. So let's ban that shit. Well, wait a second. You're sneaking in $65 million for where? Or billion for? No.
Yep.
That's how they get you, dude.
Right. They sneak everything in. If I may ask Dominic about the 3-day waiting period, you said they put that legislation in there because of husbands that are.
That's what we were told. That's what we were always told.
On the flip side of that, though, the like domestic abuse survivors can say that 3-day waiting period could be life or death for the woman that's on the receiving end of domestic violence. So if she wanted, let's say she had a husband that was in the middle of a divorce and she went and got a protection order from abuse, a PFA. But of course we know all that is a piece of paper. Yeah. It's any type of restraining order. How is that going to actually physically stop a guy from coming to your house and beating you? But if she goes to, around here we have multiple firearm salesmen, and they go and they say, we got to wait 3 days. Well, 3 days for that woman could be, life or death for her. So in that situation, I challenge that.
You should learn how to cook better.
Stance there.
What?
What's that?
What?
Learn how to cook better.
What? Come on, Scott. What are you? See, you have no idea how much you miss during the show when I'm not wearing headphones these last several months. No clue.
Oh my God!
No clue. Hey, what do you tell a woman with 2 black eyes?
I know this one.
Yeah. Nothing. You told her twice already. All right.
There you go.
We're not supporting domestic violence, but sometimes as men we understand it. But I'm gonna tell you, I've never looked at that position of. Argument where it's like, no, I never thought about that. You need to go out and get a gun. I'm sorry, sweetie. You gotta wait 3 days. You gotta wait 3 days. That one.
Oh man.
No. I. Well, then I'm glad I voted no, because that's that one.
All of these fire. I'm gonna go all Matty Whack.
Do it
here.
Do it.
Every single law made, any type of gun restriction passed, is unconstitutional. The Second Amendment's very clear. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, all arms. Now, the arguments made in the past is, how could the founders possibly have known what's going to be in the future? These devices and weapons of wars, they couldn't have possibly understand, yet they had their own naval ships and cannons at the time. But the whole idea of the Second Amendment was, and you know this, Dominic, we talk about it all the time on the Burn Pit podcast every Monday at 4 p.m. on Spreey TV. The whole purpose was to defend the people against a tyrannical government. And every single infringement, every single, you name it, even the carry permit itself is unconstitutional, because if it's my right, why do I need permission to carry it? So, I mean, down the line from the 10 rounds capacity magazine to the waiting period, everything, all of it is completely unconstitutional. And that is my pro Matty Whack rant of the day.
What blows me away is how I wasn't. When did I go to D.C.? 2018? 2017. So 2017, that means I was 20. The fuck old was I? 42? 42.
That was only 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So I was 42, right? Go to Washington. So 42 years old. And I listened to Jan Morgan say, we were speaking together at a rally, and she obviously had a great crowd this end. I'm listening to her speak, and she goes, your First Amendment or your Second Amendment is not your permit to carry a firearm. It's your right to carry a firearm. And I went, oh, why do we have a FOID card then in Illinois?
Right.
And I never thought about that before. I never thought about because life is too easy when you have luxury and you do not pay attention to that stuff. So I was very ignorant about a lot. Yeah, just got to fill this out to own a gun, this and that. And I'm like, I don't understand why people on social media, I've said this for years, why do you, not you, but people like fan out all their rifles and their pistols, and they take a picture of it, put it on Facebook. I'm like, why are you doing that? The fuck is wrong with you, dude? The government now knows what you own. So yeah, I didn't, I never paid it. I was a good little company man that just sat there and believed. I have to wonder, my first few years in law enforcement, because when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I wonder if told the right way, not like, hey, we got to go steal their guns, but hey, for safety's sake, we're going to go over to 123 Main Street, and we're going to secure Scott Sieverts' firearms because of health conditions. I wondered if I would have done that.
Well, how many states now have, you're familiar with the red flag laws?
Yeah, Matt talked about it the other day. There's quite a few of them. Illinois is one of them.
There's 19. So there's 19 red flag law states, which is simply say you and I are neighbors, and one day I come out and I see you're yelling and screaming at whoever, your girlfriend or even your dog, and I've seen you in the back cleaning a firearm. I've seen you practice your dry firing techniques, and I call the local law enforcement and I say, Dominick, my neighbor, that's right, Dominick Izzo lives at blah, 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 it's my neighbor. He's really worrying me. I hear him yelling a lot, and I hear him carrying on, and I think there may be some domestic violence over there with his girlfriend, and it worries me because I see him, cleaning his firearms, and I'm just concerned. So you would then, law enforcement gets that call. That's a red flag call that someone's making. You would show up at your house. The law enforcement show up at your house. They would say, we got a complaint from a neighbor that, it seems like you have violent behavior. You maybe there's some domestic violence, maybe there's some mental health issues. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to enter the domicile. We're going to take and apprehend any firearms that you have or any weapons that we think you could possibly hurt someone or yourself. And then we're going to do a small investigation. Maybe we even get you, send you to a medical health professional, get you checked out, and then we'll give you back your materials and belongings. So right there, that's one. I mean, the Constitution, Dominick. That's a legal search and seizure. That's also, that's Amendment 4, I believe, illegal search and seizure. That's, normally there's due process. You get due process. And what due process is you're charged with a crime, and then there's an investigation, and then there's a trial, and then there's a verdict. So in these specific cases, in the red flag law cases, they're basically convicting you first, saying there's an issue here. They're taking the evidence next, and then they're doing the investigation third, and then the verdict last. But the very first red flag law that was given, it was in the state of Maryland. It was a 6-year-old man, and he was shot dead. Mm-hmm. So there's 19 states, and these red flags, anybody can call and say and have a red flag call on you if they think that you're a danger to yourself, loved ones, the neighborhood, surrounding areas. So and you would be surprised at the politicians that were in favor.
Oh, yeah.
These red flags, including my favorite, the eye patch guy himself, Dan Crenshaw, who I publicly called out, actually, on a lot of issues. And I even challenged him, because I have ties to the fighting world. I even challenged him to a bare-knuckle fighting championship match. Me and Dan Crenshaw, former Marine. He's Navy, seaman, sailor. He's a dickhead. And I would love to get in there for charity, by the way. I can give whatever he wants. In fact, we even put a number on it. We said, I'll put up 30 grand. He can put up 30 grand. The promotion could promote it. Whatever the purse would be, if he kicks my ass, he can take my purse and he can donate it to whatever charity he wants or whatever organization he wants. And the reason why we picked 30 grand is because APAC that's the amount of money they gave him. So maybe, he can take, if he beats me up, he can take that money and send it to APAC or whatever the case may be. So that challenge was out there for Dan Crenshaw, who publicly supported red flag.
Dude, what if you got beat by a guy who, you could win because he can't see a right hook coming, but he kicks your ass, and a sailor too? I would be like, I mean, it sounds easy, but I'm like, I don't know, dude.
After I did that, I got a call from my brother's a colonel. He's the commanding officer of the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit out in Camp Pendleton. I did that. My brother caught the show, and he's like, Scott, what are you doing, man? You're fucking crazy. You're out of your mind. What are you doing?
More people need to get called out. It blows me away. But the red flag laws, I wonder, I've never been affected by it, and fucking I can't imagine how shitty it would have to be to have, your local. Oh my God. I just know the quality of training cops don't get, and what would show up at the door tactical. It would be, because for the most part, people who don't understand, 90-something% of police agencies do not have SWAT. And they sure as shit don't have cops who train for SWAT. I was the guy who breached the door for our little warrant search team. Ask me how many training sessions we did throughout my time as the. Now I probably knocked in 5 doors in 2 years, just 5 doors. You know, because you had to do the whole time for the investigation, all this stuff. So not many, but you know what? Ask me how much training that I did for that.
Dominick, how much training did you do for that?
The answer would be none. Fucking none. We literally, it was, they said, Izzo, you take the RAM. And then we did it to the whiteboard. And this is the diagram of the home. All right. You sit there. I'm going to just wham it in. And then I'm going to sit there in one motion as it comes back. Then I sit there and throw it to my left, go right to my pistol because I don't have a long gun, and I'm the third one in. So I boom, one goes in, 2 goes in, I drop it, 3 goes in, there 4 or 5. But we didn't do any training, so I can't. And we were very athletic guys. I can't picture, especially with some of the female cops out there, the shit that's going to show up to your door to secure your. I don't.
Hey, do you remember? Obviously, you remember this. Last year, the beginning of the year, there was that big story about that female police officer, I believe in Tennessee, that like banged her whole squad. I don't know if you remember that.
What's wrong with that?
Well, that you said too. That's pretty much standard. That's rampant in police departments across the nation.
I know many fucking female. It's not hypocrisy to say I know a lot of female cops are whores because all male cops are whores. All of them. The what do you call it? The stereotype that cops date strippers is so fucking true. So
what
true.
about nurses too? Nurses?
Anyone that we think we can save. The amount of like you'll read, like anytime I read about some cop who like will go to a domestic victim's home unnecessarily, you know, to make sure she's okay. Dude, it happens. Fucking happens. I did a stripper, but I was 26. She was 19. Fucking hot. Oh my God, she was so crazy. Fucking the worst drama ever.
You loved it.
No, dude. It was bad. I mean, the snatch was okay, but yeah, it was fucking bad.
I don't hear that word a lot anymore. Good for you.
Snatch, yeah. Oh yeah, box snatch.
Yeah.
That's not bad. See, you'd hear more now you have headphones on.
But speaking of that though, that female officer, actually, I don't know if you saw this, she just got a settlement.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what they did to her was ridiculous. It was fucking ridiculous. What she did, if it was like a female cop that was screwing inmates or residents, it'd be a different story. But those guys are just as fucking guilty. Why were they not as destroyed as she was? So I don't fucking care. I really don't. I had so many, like I had a coworker years and years and years ago who was jocking his partner on midnights, and midnights used to run 4 or 5 people on, and they were always, you know, car to car talking. So I was like, something's going on there. No, nothing's going on there. And this broad, this was my introduction to female police officers. Her husband was a sergeant at a town, 2-3 towns over. And she was a problem and a half. She was 500 pounds of mouth and 100 pounds of body. Would go places, would jack guys up, and we would have to fucking clean up her mess. I hated this piece of shit. This is how dangerous this woman was, and how nobody knew. Somebody stupid after him. So we'll call this guy Jay. Jay is screwing the broad on midnights. They're working together, and he wants to break it off because he realizes he's got to be a good dad and good husband, this and that. She flat out tells him, you break this off, I will tell your wife. He breaks it off anyways. A couple days later, comes home, her car's in the fucking driveway. His wife and her are sitting at the table, and he just looks and says, I'm going to start packing my shit. That's it. So she, even though she has a kid, she's got a child, and she's married to a police sergeant in another town, she goes and ruins this guy's life. Fast forward a couple of years. Now, you would think that would be discipline from the department. That would be something. Nothing happened to this fucking cunt. Nothing. Few years, about 2 years later, because it was not that long, she's on midnights again. This other guy starts hanging out with her. We'll call him Kay. Kay sits there and starts a relationship with her. This and that, blah, blah. And he wants to end it. I don't know the entire details. I never FOIA'd the documents because they lived in Wisconsin. So it was a short drive over the border for them to come to work. And he was arrested for aggravated criminal sexual assault on a minor. What happened was, and according to his claims in the report, which I 100 fucking % believe, she set him up with her daughter, meaning that he was fucking drunk as shit one night. 15, 16-year-old daughter's looking all juicy, comes into the bedroom and says, "Show me what you do with my mom." And then things got a little out of hand and he was arrested. I 100% believe she orchestrated that. There's no fucking question in my mind. Yeah, female cops are crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You see it in the military as well. There's a real argument to be made because, women Marines, there's female Marines. We call them WMs, but that also stands for walking mattresses because that's just what it is in there. And no offense to the ladies.
Dude, when you get that kind of power, Scott, it doesn't matter law enforcement Marines, when you get that kind of power, it's sexual. It's a dominant. It's the same reason why there's so much fucking homosexual rape in prison. It's a dominance thing. It's not sexual. It's fucking power. Yeah.
Yeah. But two, they're the like extreme minority in those careers there. If you're in the military or in law enforcement, women are in the extreme minority. So if you took like a 5 and you're working around her every day, she's going to start to look like an 8 or a 9 or a 10. And especially when you're stationed overseas, there's women that join the military, that join the Marine Corps, that were 4 or a 3 back home, and they go in the Marines and they're a 7 or an 8, and every guy, we'll throw it at you. But so you've said that you don't think there should be female police. There's an argument that could be made for that, these instances like that, and there's an argument that could be made for military that there shouldn't be women in the military, especially in combat environments. There's a real argument to be made there, and I know you've had your take on this because you want to come and rush the aid. You look at some of those women like they're your sister. But imagine being with one and now looking at her like she's the love of your life or she's your wife, and that the emotions aren't gonna make you make mistakes in those environments. Close quarter combat.
Are you kidding me? I worked briefly at a gym with and one of the female trainers. We were like a married couple there, and there was nothing sexual whatsoever. We worked every day, the same shift. We got along great. And over time, I'm like, oh, I got some feelings for this woman. I mean, it became a, what do you call it? An affection. And I'm like, I can't imagine like working with a female on duty and all of a sudden, shit, you get these kind of feelings. And then am I going to be distracted when there's a gunfight or there's, somebody's got to be put in a cuffs or even better, fucking, you got 2 cops who work together and they're dating and fucking, did you see that green leafy substance he had in the bottom of his car? No. Did you see that? You're not getting any pussy if you don't agree with me. Oh, yeah, I guess I did. Guess I did see him stumble on step number 3 of the walk and turn test, and he slurred his words. You're right. How many cops have fucked that shit up and ruined people's lives for box?
Yeah, I mean, but it's, Dominic, to be fair, it's a natural thing that happens between men and women. I mean, even if it's non-sexual. I work with plenty of, we have female managers that will go, oh, it's my work husband. And ditto with other managers, they go, oh, it's my work wife. It's like a term of endearment, I guess. And there's nothing sexual going on between them other than they've built now a rapport and a relationship here over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first one that your fucking girlfriend or wife is bitching to when you do something wrong at home. She can go right to her work husband. Fuck that shit, dude.
Exactly. But it happens in law enforcement. Even if they're not, there's going to be feelings where you have some endearment there. There's going to be, it's just natural. When you put a man and a woman, even if they're of average, looks, and you put them together, they're going to build feelings for each other. Whether it's sexual or not, there's going to be some just affection for each other. On you name it, an intellectual level, it just is what it is. This is a normal human thing that happens, and to avoid all that, maybe it's best if we take Dominick Izzo's advice and just cut women out of law enforcement or even the military? Where's the lie?
Fuck them all. Random. Have you had any fans of yours? Because you've been public about this. I've been public about my shit. I have fans every now and then. Like if I go do, I don't know if you've ever gotten this from one of my fans, who if I go do somebody's podcast, or go do some business with somebody, they will get either an anonymous email or an email from a fake account from somebody telling he's not a real cop. He's been fired 17 times. He did this. He did. Do you have fans like that yet? Have you reached that status? Because I was going through my comments the other day, and one of my favorites is still up around. And I live in these people's fucking heads, but I forgot about them. And I thought, you've got a similar kind of history than me. I have to wonder whether or not you've ever had those people who love to go and misrepresent you to people they hate because they cannot stand you see you doing so well.
Well,
have you had that
we
yet?
we don't have the platform that you have. You have a huge following, but with Matt's history and my history, we'll get a little.
Yeah, you will. Oh yeah, you'll get people who worked with you, and they fucking hate you. They're so jealous. They'll create like fake email accounts and shit, and like the day that you're on, I don't know, like anybody I stopped telling people, like, hey, just let you know, there's people probably gonna, and I've had it with ex girlfriends too, who fucking love to find out who I'm dating next, and all of a sudden, he does this. He loves to tongue your ass while he's doing extra. Yeah, maybe this one fucking likes it, you prude. I don't know why that popped in my head. Ryan,
that's a sign you're doing well though, because
if
you got haters, then you're doing something right.
Yeah,
that's what I've come to learn here, and the more it's like we want to continue to speak the truth, or at least our version of the truth, which we try and stick close to the Constitution as we can on the podcast.
What am I? Yeah,
but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it's some of the stuff that gets the best traction is like the stuff where it's like the most controversial. It's the most quote unquote hate filled or whatever you want to say. But it's like the more we do that kind of content, the more DMs that I get from people I knew in the past that are just following me going like, how could you feel this way now? I can't believe you feel that way. And it's like, well, you knew me when I was fucking 16. Mm-hmm. So I'm a completely different human being now.
Do you get those? Do you get those women who tell you how disappointed they are in you? I'm
all
like,
the time.
Bitch, you're not fucking married to me and my mother is dead. I stop. There's two things that I know I do. I don't smile in pictures. I just haven't in years. Two women the other day, oh, you need to post a picture smiling. Shut up, cunt. Fucking, how are we in 2024 and people still say, I wish you look so much more handsome if you smile. But I get that where I get the people who, oh, you used to X, Y, and Z. Like I had a falling out with an extremely close childhood friend. Him and I met at like 15. We worked in retail together. My first apartment was with him. He was one of my closest fucking friends. And right when Trump was in office, it became this whole attack on everything I said. I have become extremely misogynist and anti woman to some degree. And he would be up there, man, I remember when all you ever do, you were so excited to get married and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, when I was fucking 17, dude. It's like, what are you talking about? I can't stand people who use that, those type of arguments on like you're not allowed to change as a person. That shit blows me away. I get that.
And actually, it bugs me a little bit. I forgive people though for doing it because I do it too sometimes. But they're in the city of Pittsburgh here. I had a reputation in my early 20s, just 20 years ago, of kind of being a hothead, a meathead, and I worked at a very well-known nightclubs in the area, and I had some public incidences where I got really physical, and that reputation still carries me today when I know that there are some people that still have a vision or a version of me in their head that's 20 years old. And when they make comments or I see comments that are put out there about me personally, I just think to myself, that person doesn't know me today. They know the Scott back in 2004. They know that Scott. And I try to do that. I try to do that forward with other people too, where I'm like, man, that person kind of sucked. Well, that was 15 years ago. I don't know if they suck today. They got kids now. They're married, or they're doing this job. They're doing that career. So for me to look at somebody and hold on to a view of who they were a decade and a half ago would be unfair to them, and people do it to me too, so I don't want to do it to them either. But that's something that happens all the time. They think of Dominick Izzo from 2010. Even Dominick, you probably say you're not the same guy you were even 5 years ago.
Dude,
the guy you are today is a different man completely.
I will say this. Fuck. Don't know where it is. There is video of me. I was so disturbingly in love with a girl I dated 10 years ago.
It was like a codependent thing?
Let's talk about how fucked up Izzo was. Meet this woman.
Right. Nice. Let's go.
Meet this woman on Match, and we instantly fucking hit it off, and we start dating, and a month goes by, and I'm like, I'm marrying this fucking woman. It's fantastic. Fucking amazing. Excellent.
Moving fast.
Fucking, oh my God, she's into fitness. Single mom, has her head on fucking straight. Her kid is awesome. Her family is awesome. All this fucking shit. I mean,
she's everything you wanted in the bedroom too.
Fuck it. No. Very vanilla. Very.
Okay.
I sat there and had to curb.
No, getting peed on.
Dude. No, I tried to once, and she looked at me like fucking something wrong with me.
Sorry, I just remember that episode. The German thing is funny.
Oh my God.
No, that was the other thing.
That.
Anyways,
I'm into that. It's all good. Yeah, if it ain't wet, fuck it. It just gets cold really fast, so you gotta fucking hurry up with that. So, anyways, a month goes by, and I'm self-admitting how it was not the man I am today. And this wasn't an isolated incident. The story I'm about to tell you, I have done several times. It wasn't her. It was the woman. Like, I go through, I'll fucking flat out admit this. My longest relationship has been 5 months in my entire fucking life. And I go all in, and I go 5 months on, and then 2 years off. Because that's it.
It's like a cycle.
Oh, it's bad. So 2 years before her, 2 years before her, I am fucking I am Mr. fucking doormat, because I thought that you needed to be like all the movies taught us in the 1980s and be all just fucking really much into your feminine bitch energy, all this. But I'm dating this woman, and after a month, we're at her house, and we're in the backyard drinking coffee, and she goes, listen, I have to tell you something. I go, yeah. She goes, yeah. She goes, listen.
I'm pregnant.
No, I pull that all the time. And I think with all the testosterone I'm on male birth control.
You got no swimmers. You got no swimmers.
Fucking
You're no good.
Great, dude. I've been off for 4 weeks, though. 4, and I'm still putting up some serious numbers, so I don't know about that.
I see you squatting. Dude. You look good, man. You look good.
That'll be if you want a new level of irritation with people, put up workout videos and watch people give you unsolicited advice that you're like, what the fuck? But anyways, so we're in her backyard, and she goes, all right, I have to tell you something. She goes, listen, I met you on Match, and I went on Match because I wanted to get back at my boyfriend. I said, what? She goes, well, my boyfriend of 4 years came over and told me he was cheating on me with his ex-wife. So to get back at him, I created a Match account, and I went on Match, and I just happened to find you. And I said, hey, how long was the space between him telling you and you going on Match? She goes, that night. And I go, how long were you on Match before you found me? She goes, a day.
Oh my God.
Here's me. I'm fucking bearing all here, man.
All right, this is awesome. Keep going.
Dude, no, I'm done. We're done. I mustered up my little manhood. We're done, dude. No, I appreciate that. I can't compete with this. You got 4 years with him. It's 4 years of fucking holidays, birthdays, shit. I'm done. We're done. Blah, blah. 4 weeks later, I sit there, and I did the whole Facebook stalking, and I could see that 2 days, because it was a Thursday, right? Thursday, she drops that bomb on me. Saturday, they're at a fucking picnic together. So, okay, 4 weeks goes by. Little bitch Dominick sits there and sends her a text. Hey, listen, hope all is well. Really wish things had worked out. Missed the shit out of you.
What a nice guy you are.
Right. That turned into this big, long message from her to me going, I'm struggling. I loved who you were, and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And play the fucking symphony and the shit. And I'm like, we can make this work. We can make this work. 5 fucking times. 5 times. So
5 times you went back to her, back and forth?
5 fucking times. Now I'm saying I've only been in a relationship for 5 months, but this was from June of 2015. This didn't stop until August of 2016. So that entire time, I would sit there and listen to her. She would send me shit of, I'm struggling. Oh my gosh, I want to try working this. I haven't seen John in so long. I would go. We would date for 2 or 3 weeks. The longest ever was 6 weeks we dated. And then all of a sudden she would look at me one day and her vibe would fucking change and go, I just don't know if I could do this. My son loves his family and this and that stuff. Okay, by 2016, I'm done. However, here's the problem. This is the problem. Now, you have to understand something. Izzo used to be a hopeless romantic, okay? Big fucking time. My favorite movie is Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour.
You believe in the one. You believe in the soulmate.
Oh, did I ever. Did I fucking ever. Remains of the Day with Anthony Hopkins and Christopher Reeve. Out of Africa, one of my favorite fucking movies ever. I have seen almost every Nicholas Sparks film. Swear to God, I'm straight. But I believed in that whole, you fight. You fucking fight. I was such a cunt. I sat there and I wanted.
Can I throw one more in there?
Yeah.
Far and Away. You ever see Far and Away?
Yeah, with Nicholas or with the husband, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise.
And
yeah.
It's a love story there. It's a beautiful one for me.
I didn't like his accent, but I love the fact he lost to a Dago. Oh, he got his ass kicked to a fucking wild.
All right,
man.
sorry for interrupting.
No, that's all right. I wanted to do something that was a gesture of my undying fidelity and love and commitment. So I was driving to South Carolina. The problem is that when I'm driving, I'm alone, I start to think, and then the operatic swell of emotions comes inside of me, and I'm like, dude, you've got to do something amazing. I sat there, and what I used to do for her is I would always do videos. I would express my thoughts on text videos, right? Do a video, send it, video. I said, I got to do a big one. I probably left a 10-minute rant, 10 fucking minute rant to her about how much I love her and she's the one and all this shit, blah, blah. I put it up on YouTube.
You put it up on YouTube?
Wait, I'm not done. I'm not fucking done because we weren't talking at the time.
Send me the video.
No, fuck you. Fuck you. So here's what I did. I created a YouTube channel with
You dedicated it to her.
dude, wait, I'm so everybody should be cringing right now. Should be fucking cringing with the fucking cunt I was. I put a total of 3 videos up there. I think there's a total of a half hour of me ranting and raving about the beliefs of love and we can make this work. And I mean, basically talking to the camera with all the confidence in the world of a man who loves a woman. And I sent her an email saying, listen, and this was my thought process. I thought that my shit would somehow convince her to choose me. I don't know, between me and this guy, right? That's what I said. Here's the login for the video, the YouTube account, and here's the password. I said, I'm giving it to you for full control for whatever you want to do. And back then it was use it again. I didn't have a real big social media following at all. Use it against me, great. Keep it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No fucking reply, but the password was changed.
Oh my, is that channel still available? Is it still out there?
To my knowledge, it's still out there. The videos are still out there.
I'm subscribing.
Well, you gotta, and so far, so that was 2015 though, dude, right? So far, reels. 2015, maybe 2016, I don't know. But so far, no one has found that fucking video. Though videos, there's 3 of them. And I would do a fucking cringe, like a reaction to it if I ever do. But man, yeah, that one, that's how much of a pussy I was. It was bad.
Hey, look, we've all been there. We've all made fools of ourselves for the opposite sex. Nobody's exempt from making some bad decisions when it comes to that stuff. But have you ever heard, I'm going to throw a theory at you here. And I don't know if you're familiar with Rollo Tomasi.
Oh, yeah, why have I heard that name before?
So there's another gentleman too. His name's Richard Cooper, and he's actually somebody that I would love to see you two guys work together on a podcast. He's wrote a book called The Unplugged Alpha, and it's really good. And he has a theory in there. It's called branch theory. I don't know if you've ever heard this before.
No.
Okay. So what the theory is there with women, and this is an evolutionary trait. They break it down from a scientific perspective here, where women have usually what's called a safety net, or they keep their hand on a branch. So if you were to say poll, and I believe that there's these polls in the book where if you ask a woman today, hey, if your husband, you got divorced, or your boyfriend, you broke up today, is there somebody that you could call tomorrow and basically be in a relationship with? And like 90% of the women said yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the theory there is branch theory. Whereas
monkey branching.
When a monkey swings from branch to branch, they don't let their hand off of one branch until their hand is on another. And that's the theory behind women, is that women will keep their hand on one guy, but they'll also keep their hand on this guy. And then moving forward, if they see the better option, because women are we're talking about evolution here. Yeah. So women will automatically be drawn to the one that's a little bit more alpha, or that maybe can provide them something, a better life, something like that.
Money.
And if it's more convenient for them, then they reach out for that next big branch, but they keep their hand on this branch, whatever that may be, a text message here and there, how you doing, whatever the case may be. So the branch theory is the idea that you could probably take 9 out of 10 women off the street and say, hey, if you have a boyfriend, yeah, okay, cool. If you broke up with him today, or he broke up with you, is there somebody in your phone you can call right now that will show you love and attention and affection, all that stuff? You know who you would take you out on a date tomorrow. And 9 out of 10 women have said yes. And it's a poll. I'll shoot you the DM of that poll. But the book is really good. It's called The Unplugged Alpha by Richard Cooper. And to see you two on a podcast together would be pretty great for me. Fans of both.
I want to cover this quickly because this is coming back, and I think you know about this. I did a video on this the other day. Shit, where is this little cunt? I used my MO was to be like everything that the movies taught us in the 80s was to be the softer guy where the girl bitched about the other guy, and then I would swoop in, and I thought I was doing the right thing by showing them what class and integrity and all this shit was, and it wasn't. I want to play this and show you this. This is what you're talking about. This is how guys take advantage of exactly what you were talking about, and this shit is coming back. I did a video on this guy the other day.
Come here. I'm gonna grab this guy in the pink hat. Come here real quick. Come here. Let me show you what I'd fucking do with him. Ooh. Steve, how old are you? 52. Steve is 52 years old. I could call him Come Back Steve. If you'll physically get right and you'll take care of your family, you'll make more money than...
This is the problem with the internet, the blind leading the blind. If you'll physically get right, what does that mean to that man? That man is on steroids. So it means that he's teaching the other man that he has to get right to make the money for his family. This is classic sales baiting deception, manipulation, psychological warfare, ultimately. The blind leading the blind. So here's a very dysfunctional, aggressive man, all jacked up, on steroids, teaching other men that that is the way to go. Now, they don't talk about being on drugs, right? They just imply that you're lesser. I'm superior to you because I take drugs and I'm aggressive and I can call you out on stage. This is all manipulation and deceptive tactics that we see in marketing today, in sales training today. It's what I call absolute fucking bullshit.
I saw that and I'm like, give me all the steroids, because if that, I gotta go back this guy for a second. I want all the steroids if it makes me look as good as Andy Elliott does. But here, you heard what that guy just said. He goes after Liver King. This is what this fucking chode looks like. Oh, where's his yoga video? I'm sure you cut off there.
I've seen this guy before.
Dude! Oh, sorry, we're having trouble playing this. Your sister, he looks like fucking day old flan. You know that shit? I don't know where this is. Yes. But yeah, man, that guy takes advantage of exactly what you were just talking about. That whole scenario shit with the monkey branching. They're the men that will go, oh, you having a hard time with your man? No, you cry on my dick.
They call them simps today in the world. They call them simps, but and the argument can be made too. I know there's just some women that may see this and go, well, guys do it too. They know who they're going to call. Blah blah blah. It's
not the same for us.
Not the same.
And I stopped using sex to get over somebody, if you will, a long time ago. I just don't fucking do it anymore. And now it's like women don't get it. I was dating somebody not too long ago where I sat there and I simply had a rule. Do not, under any circumstances, disrespect me. It's all I ask for. And I explained it. There's a difference between saying, Scott, you're a fucking asshole. And Scott, you know, I feel like you're fucking acting like a fucking asshole to me. There's a difference. I said, based on how I saw my mother treat my father for decades, I'm like, I tried to explain it. A switch will be thrown. I will lose all fucking attraction to you, and I will walk instantly. She didn't believe me. Fucking didn't believe me. And fucking tested the theory, and we're done? I'm like, dude, I warned you. I warned you. So doesn't matter how good your fucking snatch is. Doesn't matter how awesome you are, how fit you are, how fake your tits are, how good you look. You do this, I will lose all interest in you. And I did. I walked away. The prior me, dude, no, man. But yeah. That took years and years and years of really shitty learning to get to that fucking point, though.
There's a book that was written years and years and years ago. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Yeah. You know, that book. There's also a book that I think is like the Christian version, and it's from, I think that it's a couple from the same church as the gentleman that wrote A Purpose-Driven Life, and then also
is that
he's a pastor there, but
Rick Warren.
Yes, good one. That's awesome. I blanked it. Thank you. But this couple wrote a book called Love and Respect, and it just breaks down the basic needs of men and women. And what you're talking about is what they break down in that book, which is women do need affection. They do need to feel loved from a man. But on the flip side of that, most men aren't great, with affection, or don't need to be touched. Sex isn't necessarily something where it needs to be gentle. Sex is, most men are more into sex than they are than the affection. But men need to feel respected, and that's a huge part of the give and take between a man and a woman. Is the woman needs to feel loved, like she's taken care of, like she's the precious creature that she is, the giver of life, and the man needs to feel like, hey, I'm in charge. My woman respects me. And when a woman when a woman loses respect for a man, done. That's it. It's over.
It's done. I in the sexual aspect too, I'm very much, hey, do what you're told. Consensually, of course. And I try to explain this to women who are like, oh my God, I love it when you tell me daddy wants you to do this. And I'm like, are you sure? Because let me explain this to you. The day that I give you instructions, right? Daddy says, go to the kitchen, get out the fucking rubber chicken from the drawer, wear the lampshade, and start dancing on the table to Ethel Merman show tunes. And you go, oh, that's funny, not today. I go, the day you do that, it's over. Why? I said, because the women don't get this. The day that your sexual attraction to me now becomes conditional based on your mood, if you will. And I'm not advocating fucking force in this shit. You got to learn how to read it. But I cannot tell you how many women are like, in the beginning, where if I give them hardcore fucking instructions, they love it. But the first time they go, yeah, no, I'm just not in the mood today. If I go, okay, now all of a sudden I'm backing off, and they subconsciously go, oh, I don't have to do what I'm told all the time. I don't find this as arousing. There's no more power dynamic in this anymore. It's not sexual. I don't have respect for them. I'm going to find somebody else. Women have no fucking clue about how they work psychologically, sexually, and all that shit. And they love to cut men down. They love that. That's how they get them. It's fucking by disrespecting shit. And that's why I can't stand. There was a Instagram video of a woman who was like, she had one guy on each side of her, and they were doing a dance, and the caption read something like, I love when my two favorite men are together. And it was her husband and her gay best friend. And I put in a comment section, and tons of guys commented, oh, yep. I said, oh, the gay best friend knows absolutely everything about her, and the husband wishes he did.
It's true. It's 100% true. You're absolutely right. But and I don't like those relationships or marriages that have the agreement of like the chore list, and then if he's a good boy, then I'll I'll put out for him.
Yep.
If he washed the dishes and did the laundry today, fine. It's which I have to be. In full disclosure here, my wife is fantastic. She's great with me. We have a great understanding of how things work. But I have a lot of friends that go, I got to check with the boss.
No,
make sure I do it by this.
I can't. I think I wanted to get married when I was younger. But sadly, especially with how today is and social media, I don't think with the ease of options for women, I don't think they have the emotional capability to stay committed because their options are there. And it's not like, it's like, no, it's temptation. It's simple. And I don't think women have the strong enough willpower as men do. Men, we have sexual willpower. That's what that is. And that's really hard to deal with. But women, it's fucking emotional willpower. Can I get my attention? I'll get it from somebody. It's only attention. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, right. It's a currency. Attention's like a currency now today. But here's last parting piece real quick. Here's a piece of advice for all my fellas out there. Listen, watch, or may watch us in the future. Chase excellence, not women.
Scotty, Burn Pit Podcast, Mondays, 4 p.m. Eastern, here on All Things Spreely. Yes. He'll be back next Wednesday. Maybe Matt will be with him, whatever. Well, I love to hear Matthew. Dominic, fuck these fucking women out there who don't know how to put out according to the fucking Bible. I'm like, oh man, this guy fucking shit. All right, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Guys, have a great damn day. It is Wednesday. Share all the things. If you love the show, awesome. Buy my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. It's available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wordsmatterpublishing.com. And go support the Burn Pit Podcast or you're a fucking communist. Go help somebody today. Don't hurt them. See you.